Prying Eyes by Mack D. Chapter 5. Chasing the Past You. Still no sign of Mom. This fact comforts you as you sit next to your once thought to be long-lost friend. Scarlett investigated that old book you had picked up just before running into her at the park pavilion. She examined every page with such an eye for detail. She didn't even know what she was looking for, nor did you for that matter. You stood standing between the kitchen stove and the kitchen island in which Scarlett was sitting. You were melting butter while adding cooking oil to a cast iron pan. Hope you're not watching your figure. When I cook, I can guarantee you two things. It's not going to be too good for you, but it will be some of the best tasting food you ever had. You pester this in direction towards Scarlett while you sprinkle seasonings and salts over a set of chuck beef steaks. You do this, peering over your shoulder to find Scarlett fixed and focused. That's my grandpa. He died a couple weeks ago. Scarlett's lower lip started curling as she said this. She only let it quiver for but a moment before noticing your gaze. I'm sorry. I just didn't expect to see a picture of him. Sliding the book to your side of the kitchen island, she points to a younger man that could be no older than in his later teens. That's him when those kids died way back when. I don't know much, just that Grandpa ended up working at the hospital those kids were at before they died. You frown as these words leave her lips. How does someone not know what caused them to die? I mean, they were in a hospital, right? Also, why is your grandpa in this photo anyways? It's not like he died in the fire, right? Your question seemed to cause an imbalance in Scarlett. She almost looked dazed, as if bewildered elsewhere for a few seconds. Coming to, she gives you an apologetic look fitted with a forced smile. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So about this project you're working on. It wouldn't have anything to do with this, would it? She asks you this, looking for an immediate response, which you soon give her. I don't know. You've laid both steaks on the cast iron pan at this point, and began to fill a small pot with water from the sink. Before Scarlett could question your previous response, you speak first before she gets the chance. I really don't know. I was kind of just pointed in the right direction. I'm thinking maybe this is it, though. Your words leave a questionable look upon Scarlett's face. Even so, she persisted your reasoning why less. She was rooting through the old book more now than before. It's true at this point, she was and wondered to find the ins and outs of what happened. Seems almost too perfect that her grandfather was there. You don't believe in coincidences, not by a long shot. You lay immersed, gazing at the stars atop the roof of your childhood home. You wonder to yourself if we were truly alone or not. Lost in the stars, you mutter aloud accidentally, I miss you, Pop. You forgot you weren't alone on the rooftop this night. While passing you a joint she had rolled atop the old book after dinner, Scarlett gently brushed your hand. Looking to her as if to ask for confirmation for the touch to happen again, you both lock eyes. Her eyes illuminated in the night, beneath a moon that lit only you in this moment. You must come up here pretty often, huh? Seems like as good as any as an escape. She says this as she, again, grazes her soft fingertips across your skin, this time leading up your arm to your chest. Her hand now placed over top where you'd expect a person's heart to be, she drew closer, her lips only centimeters away from your ear. She then whispered, I can be an escape for you too. Honestly, I've longed for it for as long as I can remember. For you to give me what no one else could. Slipping her right hand into her bag, she then pulled out a small white envelope. In it was a thin sheet of aluminum foil, and in that was the beginning of a night you knew you'd never forget. It took less than an hour for the acid to kick in. Before you knew it, you and Scarlet had stripped yourselves of your clothes and began to find the ins and outs of one another. Sweat dripped and coated your bodies, capsized in colors that you could never have imagined. The soft touch of her made your inner thoughts work towards needing it again. This feeling, you wanted it to last forever. Hours passed by seamlessly, leaving you with no notion that someone was in your house. You always felt watched, judged in fact. In this moment, however, even though you were not alone, you didn't feel judged. You just felt right. Scarlet was there. She was there for you. Before either of you know it, you were both passing out, clutching each other, as you faded into the comforts of each other's dreams. You never had taken acid before tonight. Probably never would again. But Scarlet you could find yourself getting addicted to. You grip her tightly as your dreams take hold and equal grip. The entirety of your subconscious awareness now has become reality. Sometimes the memories that are not of our own do inevitably tend to shape the very course of our futures, even if, whilst amidst, we remain in unawareness of such a crucial factor. The hallway dripped death with its humidity. The air conditioning ran, but with no cool air to reward its hard work. Hums and faint screeches clear the hospital's reach. Water, dripping from an overhead pipe, is the only comfort to draw out the sad sounds that lurk here. Drip, drip, drip. Extension cords hang, stapled across the top corners of walls, many with tears or rips in the rubber coating that would protect from danger. Old as the cords may be, there were not nearly enough outlets for the everyday functional needs. Buzz, drip, drip. One of the worst cords, used of plenty a time in its day, sat plugged in for years prior. I suppose everyone just expected it to continue to do its job, even with its use and its age. This is a notion to many of people in actuality. Same results, always expected, without the consideration of deterioration. Buzz, buzz, drip. The outlet itself was gross to the sight. It had looked as if it was merged to the wall, as if one object. Drip, buzz, drip. The outlet remained unnoticed and unchanged, even when a pipe had begun dripping overhead of it. Drip, drip, buzz, zap. The old walls of the hospital catch fire rather quickly. This was due to the negligence of the staff and the overall long lifespan of the hospital. The heat was unbearable once it had stood in anyone's path. For most, this was the end. For most. The doorknobs, even when across the room, wore the heat of the fire. Not many could grasp at such a task. Not many. But you always wondered where your grandfather had gotten those marks on the palms of his hands.